My name is Arlene Mitchell, and I'm going to tell you about the day I was thrown away like garbage. I was 5 years old, sitting on the cold floor at Dallas Airport baggage claim. My mom bent down, smoothed my hair, and said, "Stay right here, sweetie. Don't move. We're just going to get the car." My dad didn't look at me. He pulled their suitcases off the belt and walked away fast. Mom kissed my forehead and followed him through the sliding doors. I sat there with my pink backpack, watching people grab their bags and leave. The conveyor belt kept spinning, empty. The crowd got smaller. The lights seemed dimmer. I kept staring at those doors, waiting, but they never came back. A worker in an orange vest finally noticed me. "Honey, where's your family?" That's when I started crying. Hours passed. Security guards came, then police. They kept asking questions I couldn't answer. An officer made calls. I heard him say my parents' put names into his radio, Daniel and Rebecca Mitchell. He sounded frustrated, then angry. A woman from social services arrived with a clipboard. She kept calling me sweetheart, but wouldn't look me in the eyes. I understood something terrible that night. This wasn't a mistake. My parents didn't forget me. They walked away on purpose. The security guard said the word that made it real: abandoned. People walked past all night. Some stared, some whispered. A few looked sad, then kept walking. I felt invisible, like trash left behind. I thought if I stayed quiet and still, maybe Mom would come back, but she didn't. Then I saw him. A man in a gray jacket stopped walking. He stood there staring at me. Not like the others. He stared like he was angry. Then he walked toward me and knelt down. His hands were shaking. "How long has she been here?" he asked the guard. His voice was rough. The guard shrugged. 6 hours, maybe 7. Parents dropped her and vanished. "You mean they're not answering?" the man asked. "Phone goes straight to voicemail," the guard said. "We've called 20 times. The man's hands curled into fists. "Someone did this to her. You understand that?" The guard shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, I understand you're upset, but I'm not leaving her alone." The man sat down on the floor next to me. Not too close, just close enough that I wasn't alone anymore. "My name's Tom," he said quietly. "I'm going to stay right here with you. Okay?" I nodded. The police kept calling. Every 30 minutes they'd dial my parents' numbers. Nothing. My mother's phone rang 4 times, then voicemail. Her phone was on. She just wasn't answering. An older officer finally said what everyone was thinking. "They don't want her. They're avoiding us on purpose." Tom's jaw clenched. The social services woman kept talking about moving me to a temporary facility. She had forms and procedures, Tom argued. "Where are you taking her? Some group home?" "Sir, unless you're family or a certified foster parent, then certify me. What do I need to do?" The woman stared at Tom like he'd lost his mind. "Sir, the process takes months. There are classes, interviews. Then put me down as temporary emergency placement. You have that option." He'd spent hours researching on his phone. She looked at her clipboard, then at me. "I need to make some calls." Tom sat back down. I finally spoke. "Why are you helping me?" He looked at me for a long time. "Because someone should have helped me when I was your age, and nobody did." The police made one more call. This time my mother answered. The officer's face changed. I heard her voice through the phone. High-pitched, making excuses. The officer got redder. "I don't care what kind of day you had. You don't leave a 5-year-old alone in an airport." He hung up and walked back. "Your mother says she's dealing with a family emergency. She'll call back tomorrow." Tom's voice was ice. "She's lying." "I know, but legally, I can't do anything until she fails to claim the child for 48 hours. The social worker came back with papers. "I can approve emergency placement for 72 hours. She looked at Tom. "This is highly irregular." Tom signed everything. Passed a background check. Then he looked at me. "Arlene, I have a spare bedroom. It's small but safe. Would you like to come stay with me?" I grabbed my backpack. "Okay." Tom's apartment was small and quiet. Beige walls, simple furniture. No decorations. He showed me the spare bedroom. A bed with clean white sheets, an empty dresser. "I don't have kid stuff. We'll get you clothes tomorrow. Tonight, you just need to sleep." He left the door open a crack. Later, he knocked softly. "Can I come in?" I nodded. He sat on the floor, giving me space. "Arlene, I don't know where your parents went. I don't know why they did this, but I promise I won't leave you. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not until you're safe." I didn't believe him. But I wanted to. "Okay." That night, I slept without crying. Not because I felt better, but because I was too exhausted to feel anything. Days turned into months. Social services checked on us 3 times. Each time, my parents failed to call. After 6 months, Tom filed for permanent guardianship. My parents didn't contest it. They signed the papers and disappeared. I stopped asking when they were coming back. Asking hurt more than silence. Tom enrolled me in 1st grade. Kids asked questions. "Where's your mom?" I froze. "I live with my guardian." A girl named Sophie said, "So you're like an orphan?" The word stabbed. "I guess." She moved to a different table. I learned being different meant being alone. Teachers looked at me with pity, that head tilt, that soft voice. Other parents whispered, "That's the girl whose parents didn't want her." I started believing them. Maybe I was the problem. Maybe I did something so bad they had to leave. During parent-teacher conferences, Tom came alone. Mrs. Patterson looked confused. "Will Arlene's mother or father be joining us?" "No. I'm her legal guardian." "Oh." That sound, full of pity. "Well, Arlene is doing fine academically, but she's very quiet. Have you considered counseling?" Tom's voice stayed calm. "She's been through trauma. She'll heal on her own time." Walking to the car, Tom said something I never forgot. "Arlene, people will always have opinions about your life. Most of them will be wrong. Don't let their words teach you shame. You didn't do anything wrong. Your parents failed. Not you." I wanted to believe him, but shame grows in silence. By middle school, I'd learned to hide my anger. I smiled when expected. I never caused trouble, but inside, I was furious. I hated people who broke promises. I hated weak apologies. I hated that my parents faced no consequences. One night, when I was 13, I sat at Tom's computer while he slept. I typed my mother's name into the search bar. Rebecca Mitchell. Facebook, Instagram. I clicked. There she was, smiling. Big house, new husband, and kids, 2 of them, younger than me. Happy family photos. Her profile said, "Blessed mom of 2. Family is everything." She'd replaced me. Started over, like I never existed. I didn't cry, I screamed. Tom ran into the room. "Arlene, what?" I showed him the screen. He went still. "How long have you known?" I asked. "Where they are? What they're doing?" Tom sat down slowly. "I knew they'd moved on. I didn't know about the kids." "Did you know them? Before the airport?" He hesitated. Yes. Everything clicked. "You were there on purpose. You were watching them." Tom closed his eyes. "We'll talk tomorrow, when you're calmer." "No, now." He looked at me. Really looked at me. Then nodded. "Okay, tomorrow, I'll tell you everything." The next morning, Tom made pancakes. We ate in silence. Then he started talking. "Your parents and I used to work together. I watched them for 2 years. They were selfish. They cared about money and status and nothing else. Then why did they have me? Your mother thought a baby would fix their marriage. It didn't. You became an inconvenience." I felt sick. "You knew they'd abandon me?" "I suspected. 3 weeks before that airport trip, your mother joked about taking a vacation without you. Her eyes were serious. I couldn't risk being wrong, so I followed you. You were there the whole time?" "I watched them walk away. I waited to see if they'd return. They didn't. So I made sure you weren't alone." Tears ran down my face. "Why didn't you stop them?" "Because if I'd confronted them that day, they'd have taken you and done something worse later. This way, they revealed who they were. They lost all rights to you. And I could keep you safe." "They chose themselves," Tom said quietly. "Over you, over decency, over everything. That's not your fault. That's who they are." I nodded, but knowing the truth didn't make it hurt less. High school was easier. I had thick skin by then. I joined debate club, got good grades. Tom came to every school event. When I was 16, I came home and found Tom on the floor, collapsed. His face was gray. I called 911, screaming. The ambulance came, sirens, lights. At the hospital, they stabilized him. Heart attack. The damage was significant. I held his hand. "Don't you dare die on me." "I'm trying not to." But we both knew. This was the beginning of the end. Tom spent 2 weeks in the hospital. When they released him, he was weaker. He walked with a cane. One evening, he called me into the living room. "Arlene, I need to tell you something. I've made arrangements. There's a lawyer named Marcus Webb. He has documents, everything you need." "I don't want to talk about this." "We have to." He pulled out a small key. "This opens a safety deposit box at First National Bank. Everything you need to know is in that box." "What's in there?" "The truth, the complete truth, about that day." About your parents, about why I really stayed. You said you stayed because you couldn't let them destroy me. That's part of it, but there's more. And when the time comes, you'll understand. He looked exhausted. The truth will protect you, Arlene. Remember that. I promise. Tom lasted 6 more months. Then one morning I found him unresponsive. At the hospital they made him comfortable. No more machines, just pain medication and quiet. I sat next to his bed, holding his hand. Arlene, he whispered, you were never weak, never unwanted, never a mistake. You hear me? I hear you. Your parents are going to try to come back now that I'm gone. Don't let them rewrite history. I won't. Good. His breathing got slower. I'm proud of you, so proud. Thank you for staying, he smiled, small and tired, but real. Thank you for letting me. Those were his last words. He died holding my hand. The funeral was stood at the front, reading my eulogy. Tom wasn't my father by blood, but he was my father in every way that mattered. He taught me that family isn't about DNA, it's about who shows up, who stays, who fights for you when the world walks away. I don't know what I did to deserve him, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of the chance he gave me. After the service, Marcus Webb approached me. Arlene, I'm Tom's lawyer. I have something for you. He handed me a sealed envelope and a box. Tom left instructions. Read the letter first, then go to the bank. That night, I opened Tom's letter. It was typed. His handwriting had gotten too shaky. Arlene, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I need you to know the full truth now. Your parents didn't abandon you randomly. They planned it for months. I know because your mother confided in me. She asked for advice on how to transition out of motherhood without legal consequences. I told her it was impossible. She laughed and said, watch me. I went to authorities. They said without proof, they couldn't act. So I gathered proof. I recorded conversations. I documented their plans. I followed them to the airport with evidence ready. But then I realized something. If I stopped them that day, they'd try again later. Somewhere more isolated. Somewhere I couldn't protect you. So I let them reveal themselves in a public place with witnesses and cameras. I made sure you were never truly alone. Once they walked away, they lost all rights to you forever. The box at the bank contains everything. Recordings, documents, proof of their premeditation. I kept it hidden to protect you. But now that I'm gone, they might try to come back. They might try to rewrite history. Don't let them. You have the truth. Use it if you need to. You were always my daughter, Arlene. From the moment I saw you on that airport floor, you were mine. Love always, Tom. My hands shook. He'd known everything, planned everything, protected me even when I didn't know I needed it. I clutched the letter and finally cried. The next morning, I went to First National Bank. The key opened box 847. Inside were folders, dozens of them, organized by date. The first was labeled March 2008, Initial Concerns. Printed emails between Tom and my mother. Messages where she complained about me, about how I was ruining her life, about how she never wanted to be a mother. The next folder, April 2008, Planning Stages. Recorded phone conversations. My mother discussing the airport plan with my father. Talking about which airport would be busiest. How to make sure I stayed put. They'd researched it. Like planning a vacation. May 2008, Airport Day contained security footage. Tom had obtained copies. I watched my parents walk me to baggage claim. Saw my mother kneel, kiss my forehead, tell me to stay. Saw her walk away without looking back. The camera captured everything. Their calm expressions. Their complete lack of panic or regret. The final folder was legal protection. Custody documents, Tom's guardianship papers, a notarized statement explaining everything he'd witnessed, a letter from a judge commending Tom for his extraordinary vigilance in protecting an at-risk child. Tom had built an unbreakable case, not just to keep me safe then, but to protect me forever. So, my parents could never come back, never claim ignorance, never rewrite what they'd done. I gathered every folder, every piece of evidence, and I went home to wait. I didn't wait long. 3 days after the funeral, my mother called. Her voice was sweet, concerned, fake. Arlene? Sweetheart, it's Mom. I said nothing. I heard about Tom. I'm so sorry for your loss. I think it's time we talked. Maybe we could meet for coffee? Why? Because you're my daughter. I know we've been apart, but 13 years. Yes, a long time, but I think we could reconnect, be a family again. I almost laughed. A family. I know it won't be easy, but Did you call to apologize? Silence. Then, I called to move forward. Apologies are just words. Actions matter. Let me show you I've changed. How? By being here now, by reaching out. I let the silence stretch. What do you really want, Mom? Her voice changed, less sweet, more businesslike. I think we should keep this situation private. Between us, no need to involve lawyers or social media or the truth. There's no truth to hide. We made a difficult decision during a difficult time. We thought you'd be better off. Stop, she stopped. I have the recordings, Mom. I have the email, the security footage. I have everything Tom documented. Every conversation where you planned to abandon me. I know you didn't make a mistake. I know you wanted me gone. Dead silence. Robert gave you those? Tom protected me, like he always did. Her voice turned cold. If you release any of that, I'll sue you. You can't sue someone for telling the truth. Arlene, I'm warning you. Don't contact me again. I hung up. 2 hours later, my father texted, "We need to talk about what you plan to do with Tom's files." I didn't respond. He texted again. What happened back then wasn't simple. We were struggling financially. Your mother had postpartum depression. We thought we were doing what was best. I typed back, "You planned it for months." That's not depression. That's premeditated abandonment. We made a terrible mistake, but we're not monsters. The recordings say otherwise, he called. I answered, "Arlene, let's meet in person. Let's talk like adults." Adults don't abandon children. His voice got harder. What do you want? Money? An apology? What will it take for you to keep this quiet? I want you to admit what you did. On record, no excuses, just the truth. That's not happening. Then we have nothing to discuss. If you go public with those files, you'll destroy lives. My wife doesn't know about you. My kids don't know they have a sister. Your mother's husband's family is prominent. This would ruin. I was 5 years old. You left me on an airport floor and you're worried about reputations? His voice cracked. I knew it was wrong. But I stayed quiet because speaking up would have destroyed everything I'd built. Regret isn't the same as remorse. What's the difference? Remorse changes behavior. Regret just feels bad about it. He had no answer. I hung up. They kept calling for days. Messages changed from fake concern to threats to desperate bargaining. Then my mother showed up at the apartment. I opened the door. She looked polished, perfect, like her online photos. "Arlene, can I come in?" "No." I stepped outside and closed the door. "Talk." She took a deep breath. "I'm gonna be honest. Being a mother was never what I wanted. I tried for 5 years, but you were difficult. You cried constantly. You had health issues. You were expensive, and I was miserable. Your father felt the same. We'd planned this life, travel, careers, freedom, then you came along and ruined it. I felt numb, so you threw me away. We gave you a chance at a better life. Tom was stable, he had resources, he clearly cared about you more than we did. We did you a favor." "A favor? You think abandoning me was a favor?" "I think admitting we were bad parents was better than pretending. We set you free." I stared at her. "You're a monster." She didn't flinch. "Maybe, but I'm honest about it. I made the right choice for me, and it worked out fine for you. Tom raised you. You seem fine." "Fine? Yes. You're healthy, educated, alive. We didn't hurt you by leaving. You hurt me every single day of my life," she sighed. "If you want an apology, fine. I'm sorry I wasn't the mother you needed, but I'm not sorry I left. I'm not sorry I chose myself." She said it, out loud. I pulled out my phone. "What are you doing?" "Recording." I showed her the screen. Her face went white. "You recorded me? Just like Tom recorded you 13 years ago. That's illegal. Texas is one-party consent. I only need my permission." She reached for my phone. I stepped back. "Delete that right now." "No." Her face twisted. "I will destroy you if you release that. I have money. I have lawyers. You already destroyed me. When I was 5. She stared at me. Then her mask came back on. Smooth. Calculated. "What do you want, Arlene? Name your price." "I don't want your money." "Then what?" "I want you to understand that you can't just erase people. You can't throw away a child and pretend it didn't happen. So this is about revenge." "No, this is about truth." "Same thing." "It's really not." I turned to go inside. She grabbed my arm. "If you release those recordings, you'll regret it." I pulled away. "I already regret having you as a mother. Nothing you do can make that worse." I went inside and locked the door. She stood in the hallway for a long time. Finally, she left. That night I made my decision. I organized everything Tom had documented. Every email, every recording, every piece of evidence. I created a website. Simple, clean, just facts, no emotional language, just documentation, timeline, dates, proof. I titled it The Truth About Abandonment, Rebecca and Daniel Mitchell. For 3 days I left it unpublished. Was this justice or revenge? I thought about Tom, about choosing truth over comfort. On the 3rd night I published it. I didn't share it immediately. I just let it exist. Within a week, someone found it. Then someone else. It started spreading. People shared it, commented. Local news picked it up. Then national. Parents who abandoned daughter at airport exposed by documentation. The story went viral, not because of me, but because of what it represented. Every parent's fear. Every child's nightmare. The ultimate betrayal, documented and undeniable. My mother's social media went private, then disappeared. My father's LinkedIn vanished. Their perfect online lives crumbled. I didn't feel happy. But I didn't feel guilty either. I felt calm, like I'd finally put down a weight I'd been carrying for 18 years. Messages flooded in. Reporters, strangers sharing their own abandonment stories. Adults who'd spent decades wondering if they'd done something wrong. Foster kids who'd never been claimed. They thanked me, not for destroying my parents, but for showing them they weren't alone, for proving being abandoned wasn't their fault. My mother's husband contacted me. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, we're getting divorced. My father's wife called, crying. He told me he didn't have children. He lied for 8 years. He's good at that. I'm not angry at you for exposing this. I'm angry at him for making you have to. I thought about all the lives my truth had disrupted. My mother's marriage, my father's family, their reputations. Part of me felt guilty. But then I remembered. They disrupted my life first, when I was 5, when I couldn't defend myself. This wasn't revenge. This was consequences. 2 weeks later, my mother called from an unknown number. Her voice was broken, destroyed. Make it stop. Please, take down the website. I'll do anything. Any money, a public apology, whatever you want. I want you to understand what you did. I understand, I swear. No, you don't. This isn't about punishment. It's about truth. Other people deserve to know what kind of person abandons a child. I've lost everything. My marriage, my reputation, my job, my friends, everything. I lost everything when I was 5. At least you're an adult who can recover. She started crying. Please, I'm your mother. No, you're not. You're the woman who gave birth to me. Tom was my parent, and he taught me that actions have consequences. That truth matters. That you can't erase people because they're inconvenient. I know I hurt you. I know I was wrong. Did you hurt me, or did you just get caught? Silence. That's what I thought. Don't call again. Wait, you didn't wait for me. I was 5 years old, sitting on a cold floor, waiting for you to come back. You didn't wait, so now it's my turn to leave. I hung up. She didn't call back. My father sent one final text. You've destroyed us. I hope you're proud. I replied, you destroyed a 5-year-old. I just told people about it. Then I blocked them both. 6 months later, I was sorting through Tom's belongings. At the bottom of the safety deposit box was one more letter, sealed separately. Label, open, after you found your closure. I opened it. Tom's handwriting. Shaky but legible. Arlene, if you're reading this, you've done what needed to be done. You've faced your truth. You've stood up for yourself. You've refused to be erased. I'm so proud of you. I know people will judge you for exposing your parents. They'll call you vengeful, cruel, unforgiving. Let them. You didn't destroy your parents. They destroyed themselves the moment they walked away from you. You just refused to help them hide it. I need you to know something I never said out loud. Saving you saved me too. I'd spent my whole life watching bad people win, watching cruelty go unpunished, watching children suffer because adults were selfish. The day I saw you on that airport floor, I had a choice. I could walk away like everyone else, or I could finally do something that mattered. You gave my life purpose. You gave me a reason to be better. You weren't my burden. You were my blessing. Every day with you was a gift. Thank you for letting a broken old man be your father. Thank you for teaching me that family isn't about blood. Thank you for being exactly who you are. Brave, honest, and unbreakable. You were never unwanted. You were always loved, always chosen, always mine. Your father, Tom. I folded the letter carefully. For the first time since he died, I smiled. He was right. I was chosen. Not by the people who were supposed to choose me, but by someone better. Someone who stayed. Last week, I went back to Dallas Airport. Alone, I walked through the terminal, found baggage claim, the same one. It looked different. Renovated. But I could still see exactly where I'd sat. That cold spot on the floor. I stood there for a long time, watching families reunite, watching parents grab their children's hands, watching normal people living normal lives. A security guard noticed me. "You okay, miss?" I smiled. "Yeah, I'm okay. You've been standing there a while, just remembering something." He nodded and moved on. I pulled out my phone. I'd prepared a final post for the website. This is where my story started. On this floor. Abandoned, alone, terrified. But this is also where my real life began. Because a stranger named Tom refused to walk away. He could have ignored me. He could have let social services handle it. He could have protected himself from the complication of a traumatized 5-year-old. But he didn't. He stayed. He fought. He chose me when my own parents couldn't. Tom taught me that being abandoned doesn't define you. How you survive it does. He taught me that family is built, not born. He taught me that truth is powerful, even when it's painful. My parents left me like trash. They thought they could erase me and move on. They thought their abandonment would break me. They were wrong. Because Tom saved me. And I never begged anyone again. This website will stay up, not as revenge, but as a reminder. Children are not disposable. Parents who abandon them are not victims. And truth, no matter how uncomfortable, deserves to be told. To every child who was left behind, you are not the problem. You never were. To every adult who stayed, thank you. You changed lives. And to Tom, I miss you every day. But I'm okay. I'm strong. I'm whole. Just like you promised I'd be. Thank you for choosing me. I posted it. Then I turned off my phone. I stood at baggage claim for one more minute. Then I walked toward the exit, through the sliding doors, into the sunlight. This time, I was leaving by choice. And that made all the difference.